Hello everyone and welcome back to Gran Turismo 7 for the first single player video in quite a while. Been very busy with the Trans Am and sport mode stuff recently, but anyway, we are back to the single player stuff, back to the numbered Gran Turismo series, episode number 51, and today we'll be looking at what was update 1.31. That was long ago now, but I did kind of consider just abandoning this regular, what do you even call it? It's not really career mode. But anyway, the single player side of Gran Turismo 7, I did consider just abandoning this series because I'm so far behind, but I've gone too far in to stop now. I'd want to continue this and get it done. So that is what we are going to do. And while I am a long way behind in time, there's not that many videos. It's not like I'm 100 videos behind. So yeah, we'll be working through everything slowly and steadily and hopefully catch up a little bit in the meantime. I would also do plan to return to the F1 game series. I'm halfway through an F2 championship that I haven't touched in quite a while, so we'll be getting to that as well, hopefully very soon. But for now, it's Gran Turismo time, and the car on screen actually has nothing to do with today's video. It's just a very expensive car I happened to buy at around the same time I was recording this, or one section of this a thing with my Gran Turismo videos. If you take note of the top right, you can see the date every now and again and how it changes, sometimes from one clip to the next. So yeah, I'm not sure if that's a feature of this particular video, but you'll notice that every now and again that I have clips recorded from all over the place. It just depends when I did the races, when I bought the cars, etc. But anyway, let's get into today's action, and the first thing we are going to do is drive one of the best cars I think that has been added to the game recently. It's one I've already driven in a video previously, in the Christmas video it was, the Toyota Alphard. And yep, it's a van, as you can see at the top of the screen. And I think it's the first van in Gran Turismo 7. I don't think it's the first van in Gran Turismo ever. There have been a couple in the past, but still rather unique in terms of racing games. And yeah, we're going to give it a go. We've got the Japanese four-wheel drive challenge at the Nürburgring, and we'll see what this car is like as we get racing here down towards the first corner. This is a new version of Nürburgring that was added in this update, the shorter version of the GP layout that doesn't have, I call it the vacuum cleaner end, on the southern end of the circuit. So yeah, we'll see what this is like. But yeah, I always sort of imagine that this version of the Nürburgring looks a bit like a vacuum cleaner when you do the full layout of the full GP layout, that is. But anyway, it doesn't have the end on it, so well, I don't know what this is now. It's just a headless vacuum cleaner. Anyway, we go off the road at that very corner that shortcuts the vacuum cleaner section, and get back on. We've dropped back into second last position as we use the ample weight of this car to barge our way through and move ourselves back up into 8th position. Only 10 cars in this race, so it's not a huge field, and it's only 3 laps as well, so fairly small race here to get things started. But I'll tell you what, this Alphard is way better, as we're swaying from side to side all the way up to the chicane, is way better than what you would expect. I can't remember if I had any upgrades on it at the time of recording, but with or without upgrades, it's far more nimble than you would imagine, and yeah, has pretty good handling, and it's not terribly slow either. And once you get some upgrades on it, it's actually a really nice car. So yeah, very pleasantly surprised about this car's practicality, along with just how fun to drive it is. There are cars that look far better in theory and handle far worse in practice than this. We'll probably get to one of those later in the video. But anyway, as we work our way through the second lap, again, barging our way through a little bit there as we move ourselves up into the podium places, up into a third position, and as we head down towards this corner again, are we going to get it right this time? We'll keep it nice and tight on the inside and get through there much cleaner as we get out on the exit curve. Let's see if we can make the move down the inside. This is a four-wheel drive as well, which is probably what helps the handling of this car a little bit. But you know, we're taking it to you know, GTRs, Impressas, Lancers, all of the you know, legendary Japanese four-wheel drive cars, and we can keep up with these guys. So we get a bit of a wriggle on through the chicane once again, or through the kink once again towards the chicane. We managed to take the lead around the outside, and or not quite actually, full send down the inside for the little Mazda, and we can't quite get the move done there. So yeah, not quite yet. We'll see if we can run it around the outside through the final corner. Not able to do it, and we'll have to use the straight line speed and exceptional aerodynamics of the van to get through on the straight, and we'll be able to do that. So that worked well for us as we now work our way to the finish line, and that is a race victory here on the shortest layout of the Nürburgring. But yeah, it's an interesting one nonetheless. You probably lose a little bit of the character of the track just with that, you know, shortcut U-turn. So yeah, it's it almost feels like a completely different circuit, missing out that whole end section. It's quite a significant chunk. But just look at this thing. It is absolutely crazy that you know, you can take the fight to, you know, regular types of cars with this thing. But it's an absolute beast. I love it. And in a future update, they added a very cool engine swap for this car with the Lexus LFA engine. But that's a spoiler because as of recording this video, the Lexus LFA wasn't in the game itself yet. So anyway, that's for a future video. But anyway, we now look to a menu book for the next thing we are going to do. It includes the Toyota Alphard, the Toyota Prius, and the Toyota Crown. Three rather different cars, and it's the Toyota family car collection. And with all of these cars, that is the collection complete, and a 4-star roulette ticket from that one. So not particularly high value, but there it is, a collection Toyota family car. Oh, I need to do this voice again. These three cars were made for life in Japan and are prized for their significant historical and cultural value. The Toyota Crown is Japan's representative luxury brand. This model is a 14th generation Crown from 2012. Indeed, one cannot overstate the impact of this brand on Japanese automotive history. Its story begins in 1955, when car ownership in the country was still quite rare. It was in this context that the Crown debuted as Toyota's first genuine passenger vehicle. A decade later, it greatly contributed to Japan's private car boom, and by the 1980s had become the envy of all, as evidenced by the slogan, "One day, a Crown." The Prius is Toyota's hybrid car, powered by the Toyota Hybrid System, THS. It debuted in 1997. The THS combines a single engine and 2 motors to deliver highly efficient driving performance. Even today, this innovative control technology remains at the core of Toyota's hybrid production strategy. Moving on, the quintessential Japanese family car is, without doubt, the minivan. Minivans first appeared in Japan in the 90s and were built to accommodate large groups traveling on Japanese roads. The ability to provide a moving living room experience made the Japanese variant a big hit. The Toyota Alphard was one such vehicle and stands out as a representative example of Japanese minivan culture. In addition to being known for comfort, minivans carved out a niche as luxury vehicles. Now synonymous with luxury itself, Japanese consumers regard the Alphard as an aspirational vehicle. And it is only getting more popular every year, not just in Japan, but all over the world. This is one collection that gives you a sense of Toyota's automotive history and Japanese car culture in general. Alrighty. Back to normal. I think I might be losing my Luca voice. It changed a few times throughout that, but regardless, we spin up this 4-star roulette ticket, and we get a thingamajig. A crankshaft for the Chevy Nova. One of the, I've forgotten the word. Gran Turismo award. For, I forget what the actual show is that's handed out in. SEMA. One of the SEMA award-winning cars. But anyway, we get going, and this is the World Touring Car 800 at the endurance layout of the Nürburgring. And we're driving the ITAL design just for something a bit different. There is a car that was added in this update that would suit this race, but I decided to go with the ITAL design just to see if it could do it more than anything, because I do like these ITAL design cars. They are very capable of these World Touring Car 800 races, and I wanted to take this thing to the Nürburgring, so we'll have to drive the other car that I am yet to mention in a little event of its own. We'll do that next. But anyway, as we are going absolutely full send here, this is basically the version of the track that we just raced on in the Alphard, plus the Nordschleife. Bit of an unusual layout. I don't really know when you would really use this, because you might as well just do the full 24-hour layout if you're going to do this. But anyway, it exists nonetheless, and I guess it's a possible layout, and we have it now. So yeah, let's see how this goes, as we are already making fairly rapid progress through the field. This thing, its strengths very much in a straight line, so that part of the circuit will suit this car. This part of the circuit and the next few minutes will not. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit tougher through the Nordschleife part of the circuit, but we'll see how it goes, and that is a bit of an awkward moment there. The good thing about this car is, as we trip over the curb there, I was going to say it should be able to handle the curbs, but it's not doing that particularly well. Maybe I should be driving the off-road version, but this car is quite high off the ground, so hopefully all the bumps and undulations of the circuit don't pose too much of a problem to this car. But no matter where you drive this thing, it is absolutely insane. Look at that straight line speed. Holy moly, we're not going to get this stopped as we find ourselves into the barrier, and a full spin 180 will flick it back around in style there, and get ourselves up pointing forwards again. But yeah, we have plenty of work to do. We're only in 15th position after that spin, so yeah, we need to hopefully get a pretty clean race here. It's going to be 3 laps long, and yeah, it's going to be a tough one, so we'll see how it goes. It's kind of a half-hour race-ish, as we're really struggling to control this thing at Nürburgring, so we'll need to get our act together and push on again. We move on slightly later in the lap then, not very far to be honest, and we've caught up to the car in front once again, and we'll see if we can get through up into P14, squeezing it down the inside there, and we just about make that move stick. But there's, of course, as always, not much margin for error here at the Nürburgring, so we do need to learn how to control this thing a little more precisely than we have been, as we are heading into one of the more technical sections of the circuit now. But hopefully we should be able to use the acceleration of this car on exit here to get a good run. We're a bit awkward up on the outside, and that didn't really work out for us, and we are left to fend for ourselves out there. But we'll see if we can get a good run out of this second slow corner here, and see if we can position ourselves a little bit better. Lunge down the inside, and this awkward uphill exit, we should have good traction here to make the move, and we find ourselves up now into P12. Takes us a couple of minutes to catch up to the next group of cars after that, but we should be able to gain a few spots here and move ourselves up into the top 10, maybe 9th position, as we're up over the little awkward jump there, and that put ourselves all out of whack for the next corner, but we managed to mostly keep things under control, only dropping back into 10th position as we're pushing our way through up into P9 once again. We can see the next group of cars up the road. This is sketchy though, and we got ourselves completely on the wrong line into that section, which should be almost straight, but when you get the angle wrong, things just get worse and worse. But anyway, we're heading towards where this car should be very strong, which is of course the massive straight, and it'll be fantastic for us there. We'll just be able to blaze past everyone in front of us right now as we tuck in behind the BMW. Can we make the move down the inside in this to the right-hander? And we do actually move ourselves up one more position and before the straight up into P8, but the position is just going to continue to drop or get higher. I don't know which. It's confusing. You're higher up the field, the number gets lower. I don't know. But anyway, we are absolutely flying along the straight, almost 350 kilometers an hour, which is insane speeds as we get to the end of the straight. And this is the tricky part. Are we going to be able to stop it by the time we get into these wavy corners towards the end of the straight? We've kept it under control for the most part, and we do get it stopped somehow. That is sketchy into that section, but we get away with it, and now we will oh, the 3 people making pit stops. Didn't really think of that. This thing actually has very good fuel economy though, which is as I found quite rare for VGTs. I did a bit of experimenting with VGTs ages ago in these World Touring Car 800 races, and a lot of them do struggle with fuel economy for their relative speed compared to the Group 3 cars. So yeah, it's quite rare for something to be as good as this. So yeah, I don't know how ours is going to go. I haven't actually looked at the fuel yet, but we'll see. But we're up into 2nd position now as we head through the little shortcut corner here and back onto the regular circuit, and we'll see if we can catch up to the leader. And so as we continue on, catch up to the leader we do, and we just need to now find a way through. As we get to a bit of a straight here, we'll be able to do that. Zoom on through and up into 1st place. Unfortunately though, things do not always go to plan, and if there's one thing this car does not like, it is this section of the track. Okay, maybe it's me that doesn't like it, but regardless, 360, we're off in the grass, and we do not have a great time there as we're sort of getting towards the 2nd carousel section of the circuit, and we drop down into 3rd position. After that little moment, we'll squeeze our way through back down the inside up into 2nd place, and we should be able to grab the lead back very shortly. But oh, we've got up on the inside curb into the barrier, and those rear tires are cooked. So I'm guessing that is the source of our struggles at the moment. But yeah, I don't think I noticed that at the time. I was probably wondering why the handling had gone so horrible at this stage. I guess that is why. But anyway, we head along the big old straight once again, and we'll see if we can make up for some of that lost time on the straight. I'm sure we will. We are absolutely rapid in the straight line, but we've got a little bit of a problem as our fuel is running out. So we'll need to potentially pit for new for more fuel. But right now we'll see if we can make the move down the inside into second position, and we can't quite get the lead back yet, as we are nowhere near as stable as those other cars into this section. There's not a lot of downforce on this car, it's just stupidly fast. But anyway, we've completely missed pit lane there, and I've just realized, so gonna try and turn this around and see if it will let us in. I don't have high hopes, but we really do not have a lot of fuel left to complete another lap, so we'll see what we can do. Oh, that was close. But into pits we go. We'll see if it lets us, and of course it doesn't. So that's annoying. Now we have to do a lap with half a lap of fuel. We can probably do it. We'll see. Fuel map into 6. I've gotten distracted there changing the fuel map, and just sent myself off the road, so that was brilliant. But anyway, we currently in second position, so if we can get to the end, we need to do a lot of lift and coast. We need to really watch those rear tyres. Thankfully turning the fuel map down will help us with that, but yeah, even the fronts have taken a little bit of a hit, not too bad, but yeah, we're really going to need to use whatever straight line speed this car has in map 6 to get this position back and fuel save like crazy. But you can see I'm not driving well at all at the moment on these worn tyres, and a bit of I guess frustration building at the moment as well for missing that pit stop. But we'll see how it goes, and I think we should be able to make it to the end. Fuel map 6, as we set a purple first sector, fuel map 6 should cover most of the fuel saving we need to do, and we can do a little bit of lift and coast once we get in front, as we get a nice run through the chicane there, take the position, move ourselves into the race lead. Now we just need to drive very calmly to the end of the race. And so we get to the last few corners of the race, and as you saw, we did lose the lead a couple of times throughout that lap. Lifted and coasted a lot, but managed to hold everyone off for the most part. And we'll come to the line, and after a lot of fuel saving and much improved driving on the final lap, we were able to take the victory here with not much fuel to spare. But you can really save a lot when you try to fuel save. So long as you're in the lead, you can hold everyone else up as much as you need to, as we did throughout that lap. But hold on, how did we win by that much? What happened to the Viper? They were in front. They were in the lead on the straight. Hang on, something weird's going on here. let's take a look at this finish and see what happened behind. You can see heading into the last few corners, the Viper's in second place. The rest of the field not particularly close at all. So what happened here? The Viper looks like it might be slowing as the Supra is catching up. The Viper is out of fuel. And that is... Are they all out of fuel? Look at them all. They're all stacking up. And I think they might all be out of fuel. There's a few going through. But that is at least 3 cars out of fuel to the line. Oh, that is hilarious. That is quite funny. But this here is the car I think we were meant to be driving in that event. Or the event was added, you know, with the intention of driving this car. But anyway, we will take it for a test drive now. This is the first DTM car, I believe, or definitely the first modern DTM car in Gran Turismo 7, the Audi, and it looks pretty crazy. And it's classed as a Group 2 car, which is the same as the GT500 cars and a couple of the old Le Mans cars as well, the Mercedes and the BMW from the 1990s, late 90s, Group 2 cars. And yeah, this will be quite interesting to see how this compares to those. So that is what we are going to do, actually. We are going to take it to Fuji Speedway and put it up against some GT500s and up against the Mercedes and the BMW Le Mans cars, and we'll see how it goes. But here it is, $1 million down the drain for this car. Actually, surprisingly cheap for what it is. I think is that the standard price for Group 2 cars, maybe? Group 3 cars are $450,000 unless they are, specifically something special. But anyway, we will look into that at some point. But on the grid now, we get ready to go racing here at Fuji Speedway. You can see on the left there we've got the Toyota Supra GT500 from '97. He's just here for fun. He's not going to keep up with anyone. As we race down towards the first corner, I think I've got the Pennzoil Nissan Skyline as well. They're technically classed as Group 3 cars because they're so old, they're not going to keep up with the newer GT500s, the Supra and the GTR from the late 90s. But anyway, we'll see how this goes as we're taking a fairly steady start to this one. We've got the BMW in front of us. Well, I don't know if I should be calling it a BMW or a McLaren, actually. I think it's under the BMW manufacturer, but it is a McLaren F1, so I don't really know what the deal is there. I don't know a lot about that car, but I do like it. But anyway, so far we are going alright, making a couple of overtakes, but we need to be making a bit more progress if we want to get to the front of this field. I've set it to a 4-lap race, and I'll also be interested to see how the AI go as, okay, well that AI is not going very well. He's off the road. As he slides back on, we'll get back up the inside and not quite be able to make that move. I don't know why I went to Fuji. I'm really not good at this track at all, especially this last sector. But anyway, I guess that was just the GT500 thing. And the World Endurance Championship as well, I guess, have come here in the past. I'm not sure if they still do. Don't really follow it. I think they do. But anyway, we on the main straight once again. This enormous front straight here as we head down towards the first corner. Nothing too crazy in terms of straight line speed. Looks pretty similar to the other cars further up the road, so we'll need to do some good driving in the corners to try to catch up as they all start to bunch up into turn 1, and we are sort of closing in, but I'm just really struggling to keep up in this race. But judging by the AI, it doesn't look like this car is particularly fast or slow compared to the other cars. That BMW in front of us is just struggling to keep up with the pack a little bit, so they might be a bit off the pace. But for us, as we make the move down the inside once again, it looks like the other Audis are you know, basically holding station with the GT500s as we begin to wonder if we can actually keep up at all in this race. Every time we get close to the BMW, I try and make an overtake, and then just can't quite do it. So, yeah, really struggling here, as it looks like he's gone a bit wide again there, not off the road this time, but as the cars ahead are starting to battle away, we might be able to get involved here. But Group 2 racing is definitely not my forte. Big lunge up the inside though, and a 2-for-1 deal in a very awkward set of corners, and we'll see if we can get one more on top. Why not? And we get the move done there and up into P13. So slow progress in this one. Luckily this is just a custom race, not one we actually have to do well in, but now we've got a big air gap in front of us. We continue on, and now we have a small air gap in front of us as we are closing into one of the GTRs. We'll get through in a straight line fairly easily there, move ourselves up another position into P12. And lunge up the inside, and GTR gets back through. So we lose that one just as quickly as we gain the time in the first sector and lose it all in the second half of the lap. But anyway, we'll try and get back on terms with the GTR as we head through the final few corners. I'm slowly starting to get used to these corners. It's something I have to adjust to every time I do a race here. Big wide line, late apex, good run. And we go alongside and past the GTR there and move ourselves up another position into P12. Only a lap to go though. So yeah, we are really sort of averaging like a position a lap at the moment. But anyway, we'll get past the next car and potentially one more. The BMW, we're going to be late on the brakes, super late, but we'll get it done and move ourselves ahead of the BMW. We've got the Mercedes in front of us now as we work our way towards the next left-hander, and a bit of an air gap, but we should be able to close this up through the next few corners. These are the ones I can get right most of the time. A bit of contact there, but we'll muscle our way through on the inside. Definitely not the kind of thing you want to be doing in a car like this. DTM cars, and especially GT500 cars, quite aero sensitive, I think, but we're not going to worry about that. And we'll see if we can make the move to the outside. Another one here, so we're getting faster towards the end of the race and starting to unlock some more decent pace as we work our way through, move ourselves up into 8th position now. So we are finally starting to make some decent progress in this one, and we might be able to get one more by the end of the race. We've only got one corner to go, so maybe that's a little bit too far to close in, but still up into P8 from P20 in 4 laps. Not too bad, considering that we had no pace at the start. We get a good slipstream here actually, as we've got good straight line speed. I think there may be a little bit of rubber banding involved there on that final lap. I don't think I was going that much better than before, but P7, I'll take it. But a fun car to drive, and who won? It was an Audi that took the victory in the end, and yeah, it doesn't look like from where everyone started there was any one car that flew through the field to get to the front. But yeah, potentially the Audis are quite quick. But anyway, we actually now have a menu book, an old one actually, that I just haven't managed to fit into a video quite yet, for Group 2 cars. So I thought this would be a good time to fit that in. We do have one more to buy though. We are yet to get a Honda from the GT500 class, so we will go and pick that one up now, and yeah, we'll see. It's quite expensive. It is 800,000 credits, so a little bit less than the DTM car, the Audi. So yeah, it's not. Yeah, I think 800,000 is the standard price for Group 2 cars, and $1 million must be for ones that are a little bit special. but every class seems to have a standard price that most of the cars are. I think it's 350,000 for Group 4, 450,000 for Group 3, and the Group 1 cars are very expensive. They can be $1 million or $3 million, depending on how successful they were. But anyway, we are not talking about Group 1s today. But yeah, 800k for the Honda NSX concept, and it does come in two colors which are identical, so seems kind of a little bit redundant, but anyway, that is that. A new car for the collection, which is always good. It's what we aim to do here, just continuing to build the collection and eventually obtain every car in the game. At the time of recording this video, still a long way off that milestone, but we do have a milestone of car collection coming up, but we'll get to that later on. But anyway, 6-star roulette ticket for this menu book, the Group 2 racing cars menu book, and these particular 3 are GT500 cars, but like I mentioned, there are others in the class that we saw in that race. But anyway, here we go, collection Group 2 racing cars completed, and a 6-star roulette ticket. Now I have to do my Luca voice again. Collection Group 2 racing cars. The cars you have assembled here belong to the fastest class of racing cars in the world. It's a class that includes several famous cars of racing history. Naturally, such purebred racing cars require their own kind of special track. And if I'm not mistaken, the world's first purpose-built motor racing track was the Brooklands Circuit, which opened in 1907 in Surrey, England. That is actually not true, so I recently found out. The first purpose-built racetrack was actually the Aspendale Racecourse right here in Australia, which opened January 1906, almost a year and a half before Brooklands, which was the first purpose-built banked racetrack. Oh, sorry about that. Anyway, back to Brooklands. It's an oval-shaped racecourse measuring roughly 4.4 kilometers in length. It served as the inspiration for the famed Indianapolis Motor Speedway in the United States. As the popularity for such purpose-built racing tracks steadily increased, the world's automakers and racing teams were driven to build faster and more furious cars. Nice reference. Well, that was a bit of a weird menu book. That's a strange one. They didn't actually mention any actual Group 2 cars at all. They didn't mention the GT500s or the Le Mans cars. The DTM car wasn't in the game when this menu book was added. So yeah, that's very, very strange. Not really sure what the deal is there, but anyway, they didn't even mention among the tracks anything relevant. They just talked about Brooklands and Indianapolis. Yeah, that's a weird menu book. I don't quite get the connection between the cars and what they're actually talking about, other than that the GT500 cars are more or less the pinnacle of car racing, of cars that actually look like cars, if that makes any sense at all. But anyway, we get the Ford Mustang GT engine from that roulette ticket, so that'll come in handy for something. But anyway, we get to the Porsche Cup now. We actually have 2 cars to use in the Porsche Cup. They added 2 Porsches, but only 1 Porsche Cup race. This first one, though, is a very slow car, so I'm going to keep the difficulty low for this one, because it's a very old Porsche. And yeah, we'll see how this goes. I don't have particularly high hopes for this car, but we'll see how it goes. Of course, with any old car, you can upgrade it to bring it up to scratch. But anyway, we'll see how this goes. Again, I recorded this so long ago, I can't remember what I may have or haven't done to this car. So it's all just a guessing game. But anyway, we'll see how this goes. Meet, little beepy horn on this car. View from the inside as we continue to race on. Quite a decent sized field in this one, 13 of 16 cars. So yeah, quite a few cars to work our way through in this race, and a lot of them far more modern than this thing. So yeah, we may need to put some upgrades on it, but we'll see how it goes as we continue to race on. We're at Kyoto Driving Park, I should say, and we are on the Yamagiwa layout. But yeah, it's one of Gran Turismo's various fictional circuits. I kind of have mixed feelings about this one. There's nothing I really don't like about the layout, but I don't know, the corners just seem to be a bit deceptive to me. But it's got a good variety of corners, and it is a fun layout overall, but I struggle to actually get a lap together around this circuit. But anyway, we will see how we go. We're not going too bad so far. Just need to try and navigate around these other cars, which are going very slowly because we have the difficulty set way down. But we've made some decent progress on the first lap up into P7. This is quite a long race. I haven't typically been too good at the Porsche races as well, which is why I don't have high hopes for this car, but we'll see how it goes. We're going along alright so far, as we've got another little cluster of cars in front of us now. We'll see if we can get through, as we're having a bit of trouble on the inside curb there, but we'll get the run on the exit as we try and get through there, and we will move ourselves up a couple more spots into P5 as we'll float around the outside there up into 4th position. We've got a bit of a gap now to make up to the group ahead though. It doesn't take too long for us to catch up to 3rd position, and in fact we make that overtake very easily, but we still have a sizable gap to the race leaders. Soon enough we do catch up to 2nd position, and now we just need to find our way through a bit of contact with the back of the other Porsche there. Easy to identify the cars in this race. Everything's a Porsche. But anyway, as we head down the hill and to this next left-hander, we'll see if we can make the move around the outside. We got that fairly easily actually, and get the move done, and now we just have the leader left in front of us now, as we still have got a fair way to go in this race. And eventually we do catch up to the race leader, but it is right as we're heading into the final corner. I'm going to try and go for a lunge. There's a bit of contact and we can't quite pull it up, and we run wide and can't get that move done. That guy is a brick, and we just sort of bounced off. So yeah, we couldn't quite get that done. Had to go a bit more full send if we wanted to take that position. There's P2 in this prehistoric Porsche. So that's not too bad, and to be fair, it handles pretty nicely, so probably not a bad car with a few upgrades. But anyway, we move on to attempt number 2. This time we're driving the Porsche 959 from 1987, and this one will be much faster. Did I even mention what the previous one was? It was the Porsche Carrera GTS 904 from 1964. For anyone who knows what all of that means, I certainly don't. But anyway, yeah, it's much faster, this one, so hopefully we should have a bit of a better time. I'm absolutely flying across all these apexes, using all the road and all the grass all the way up to the barriers through that S section there, just trying to clear these slower cars at the back so we can hopefully catch up to the top 5-ish before the leader can get too far away from everyone else, because they are very, very quick. Off the road there though, not ideal. Even this car's got a little meat horn. It's far newer than the other one. But anyway, as we head into this little triple chicane thingy right here, we get through there all right. It's very deceptive because that third corner is far more open than the first two. You can carry more speed than what I've been doing through there. But anyway, into the left-hander, and we're drifting out wide. We managed to keep it on the road and move ourselves up, or we've moved ourselves up into P12 so far. We'll see if we can move ourselves up into P11 into the right-hander. Nicely done there. Bit of a fishtail though, and into the barriers. And this car is starting to have some of those telltale signs that it's a Porsche. Doesn't really like to turn, and it fishtails a lot. It's not that bad. There's certainly worse, but yeah, it's you can feel the different weight balance to what you would traditionally expect from a car you're driving. But that's how Porsche do it. They build cars backwards. But anyway, we'll make the move to the inside, barge our way through a little bit there, and move ourselves up into the top 10. See if we can grab 9th position here on the exit with a good run. Nicely through there. We'll grab P8 if we squeeze through to the inside. Didn't quite work quite as I planned, but mission failed successfully because we still got through, and now we'll make the move to the outside to take 7th position. So making pretty good progress so far. Not quite as quick as we did in the old car, but we have had the odd mishap here and there, so we should be able to continue pushing on and making ground off the road there again, though into the barrier, and that's cost us a bit of time as we get back onto circuit once more, and we'll see if we can close in once again as we head into this chicane section, trying to maximize our curb usage through there, carrying really good speed, tuck it to the inside, and we make that move up into 6th position. We should be able to get another one here as we swing it to the inside, and we fishtail again into that corner, but we managed to save it. But the weight shift from left to right, or right to left, depends if you want to talk about the car or the corners, I suppose. But yeah, it's not stable in this car. It really doesn't like these sections, and we drift out wide off into the grass again, where you have to flick from one side to the other. This car does not handle it well, and yeah, we're struggling in those zones of the circuit. But anyway, we will see if we can get the run on these two as we have some decent power down on the exit. We'll move ourselves up a couple more positions and up into 3rd so far, with still 3 laps to go in this race, so we have time to catch up. 2nd position in front of us now, so is the field a little bit more closely stacked than in the previous one? Hard to say, but we'll see as the race goes on how much trouble we're going to have with the race leader if we do indeed get there. But we're closing into 2nd place as we're still struggling with flowing corners. But anyway, decent enough run out of the exit, despite getting a little bit wobbly through the middle of that section, and we might be able to make a move to the outside. We flick it in sideways, drift it through, and that does spoil the momentum, but we'll tuck it back into the inside, and we should be able to get the move done there nicely, and we've moved ourselves up now into 2nd position, and setting purple sectors so far on the 3rd lap. So we're looking good in the race so far. We just need to chase down the race leader, who has built up a margin so far. Once again, it takes us until the final lap to catch up to the race leader, and we've got to go for the lunge, almost getting the nose in into this chicane section. Come from a long way back there. We've got good momentum though. We're going to carry it around the outside. We made a bit of contact though and lost that momentum, and now you can see that straight line speed for the race leader, even in that short chute, coming to help them there. But we really don't have much time left in the race. We have to get the move done. We've gotten there. We need to keep this on the road. We drift slightly wide, and they're back through, so we really do need to make this overtake work. It is now or never, as we've really only got 2 opportunities left. We're not going to go for it here. I've had enough troubles with this corner, but we get through there nicely for the first time in my life. And now we have an opportunity towards the final corner. The straight line speed helping them. We go for the dive down the inside. Contact is made. We're sliding, but we get through. And we manage to just about creep ahead. And now it is just the run to the line. Their straight line speed will help, but I think we've just about got this one covered as we run a straight, shortest line to the finish. And we will get there by I think it's 0.3 of a second or just under. They make the move on us just after the finish there, but that was very tough to go for that move at the end, and it's a bit of a risky move, but we made it work. Yeah, I wasn't going to do that again. It's a long race to be trying over and over. Yeah, we had to make that work. Went for the big dive, barged him out of the way, and that's how we do it here. But anyway, the last race of the video, the four-wheel drive challenge. Once again, kind of going back to where we started. We'll turn the difficulty back up after the struggles of the previous races. We're driving the Mazda 3 that has been added in this update, and we are at the Tokyo Expressway. And of all the versions, I'd say, yeah, I think this is my favorite version of Tokyo Expressway. There's quite a few layouts, but yeah, this one, it's one of the better ones. But anyway, this is the Mazda 3 in car for a moment there as we race our way down the enormous front straight towards the very tight first corner. Perfect for wall riding, but we're not actually going to be doing that today for once. I'm going to try to do this race properly. I did put a couple of upgrades on this car, I do remember that, but nothing too crazy. But its base performance just isn't quite there for this race. But yeah, it's quite a fairly complex back section to this circuit. Very easy to lose a lot of time if you start banging into these walls, and this corner in particular, I have nightmares about this corner. It's probably not so bad in this car, but in faster cars that is very awkward to get through there. But anyway, we're chasing our way along the back section of the circuit up into 7th position so far, as we are trying to make the double move down the inside into P5 now. So good progress so far on this first lap as we head into the next little chicane-like section, and trying to get a decent run through here. Again, it's not really easy to do just because of the close nature of the barriers, and when you're unfamiliar with the car especially, it can be very difficult to find those limits on the first lap. But we're doing alright so far as we head into the hairpin at the other end. Very tight corner, probably one of the sharpest corners in the game. You're basically just turning around to the other side of the freeway, and now we head along back the way we came, and we will see if we have the straight line speed to compete here. This track is all about straight line speed, with basically half the circuit being this massive straight, and even on the other half of the circuit, a lot of the corners are fairly high speed. So yeah, it's a very speed sensitive circuit in terms of straight line handling, but the Alphard there, not doing too bad, to be honest. They are absolutely cruising along here on the straight, over 200 kilometers an hour, I'd say. So they are absolutely zooming in the big vans, but we got a little bit more in the Mazda. So we bring it into the first corner once again, getting through there nicely, and just one car left in front of us as we get dangerously close to a crash there, but we get away with it. And now we'll see if we can get a run through the back section of the circuit. It's only a 2-lap race, this one, so yeah, we are fast running out of time, but with only one car left in front of us, I don't think this is going to present too much of a problem, and we should be able to make the move down the inside under the bridge, and we get the move done and up into the race lead. And that is where we stay for the rest of the race as we come to the line and take victory here at Tokyo Expressway. Awesome. That's another one ticked off the list, and that is the final race of the video. And a clean race bonus as well. Nice. But yeah, decent car. Quite enjoyed driving it. drag racing the Alphards along the straight. That's quite funny to see. But anyway, we have one final menu book to discuss before finishing off this video. But before that even, we have this lovely message from Sarah. Amazing, McFly18, your car collection contains 300 cars. What's more, I'd say you've got what it takes to collect them all. Yes, that is my intention. Be sure to give it a try, won't you? If anyone can do it, it's you. Thank you for the encouragement, Sarah. But what's a Gran Turismo game for if you don't buy every single car in sight and probably never drive half of them? But such is the vast number of cars in this game. But anyway, the final menu book that was added in this update is the Ford GT menu book. We get a 6-star roulette ticket from this one, and as you can see, we've got all the cars already, and there we have it. We have already done it, so here we go. The Ford GT collection and a 6-star roulette ticket for our troubles. Collection Ford GT. Let's see what we can learn about these cars. The Ford GT is celebrated the world over as one of the greatest triumphs in motorsport history. Here we have a 1960s original Ford GT Mach 1 and its second-gen successor. This is an incredible collection that is sure to be the envy of any serious gearhead. History buffs are surely aware of Ford's fascinating racing history. In 1901, company founder Henry Ford entered one of his cars in a US race, unexpectedly defeating his more successful rival. It was a brilliant show of endurance and speed that has since defined Ford in competition racing. In the 1960s, Ford began applying its strengths to the Le Mans 24-hour race. Partnering with veteran British engineering firm Lola Cars, Ford established Ford Advanced Vehicles. And in 1964, unveiled a prototype race car called the Ford GT. Originally developed to claim a victory at Le Mans, a mass production variant debuted in the following year. The variant was the GT Mark 1, and its mere 40-inch height led to it being named the GT40. An important contributor to the Ford GT Le Mans project was the legendary US race car driver and master automotive designer Carroll Shelby. With Shelby's help, an improved variant, the Mach 2, debuted in 1966. And secured Ford a fabulous victory at Le Mans. Notably, this victory not only unseated Ferrari as the reigning Le Mans champion, but did so with an outstanding show of force, a marvelous 1-2-3 finish. From then until 1969, Ford put out new variants and managed 4 consecutive Le Mans victories, securing his legacy in the annals of motorsport history. This legacy has continued into the 21st century. Take for example this Ford GT, which debuted in 2005 to mark a century of Ford cars. It reimagines the beautiful form of the 1960s GT40 with state-of-the-art technology. This second coming of the midship Le Mans Victor has a stunning design that is second to none. But the legend of the Ford GT doesn't stop here. A further evolved GT was unveiled in 2015. This new edition competed in the 2016 Le Mans, where it pulled off a stunning class victory. This achievement happened to mark the 50th anniversary of Ford's first Le Mans win. Indeed, the Ford GT is a special breed of sports car that has shined on the world stage for over half a century. Oh, thank goodness that's over. That was a long one. I don't know how much more Luca voice I can do today. But thankfully that is the end of what has been quite a long episode. We just have one more roulette ticket to go and spin before we finish this one off. 6 stars for that menu book. I feel like my voice has actually changed after doing Luca voice for that long. But anyway, we are going to get a car, and it is something that looks very quick. Ooh, the Jag VGT SV. That is a very fast car. Handles like a truck, but it's very fast in a straight line. So that's actually really cool. I'm collecting all the VGTs at the moment. At the time of, at the time I was recording this video, I was making it a mission to collect all the VGTs, and so that's cool. That's one I don't have to pay for. As you can see, actually I'm in the BMW VGT to this very moment. But anyway, that is going to do it for this one. There's the Alphard in an ice cream truck livery from a very old video game that I mentioned a couple of videos ago. Actually quite a few videos ago. It was the Nations race at St. Louis road trip adventure. But anyway, that game is for another time. I do plan to play it at some point on in the future on this channel, but anyway, we'll see that ice cream truck some other time. But for now, that is all for today. So thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I really do appreciate it. Please feel free to give me some feedback in the comments. It's always very helpful. And other than that, I'll see you in the next one, and goodbye.